And then the main event. Yes, that was 3 hours, ladies and gentlemen. The main event was Jey Uso and Ilya Dragunov, and I kind of figured the only way that I would like this is if Ilya won, and that wasn't going to happen. And actually, I still did kind of like it because I love Ilya. But it didn't happen. Jey Uso won with a spear and a splash. A spear and a splash sounds like a cocktail, doesn't it?
What do you think of Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown and now Dragunov here, bringing up these guys from NXT who were top guys there and immediately beating them?
And it just beating them. It goes against, I mean, it's not my philosophy. It's everything that was done in wrestling by everybody from the time that television became a thing that existed until, 10, 15 years ago. No matter whether the guy was going to be an underneath talent or a mid-card talent or a main event guy, when you would see him on TV the first number of times, you get 98% chance they were going to win the match. Because if you were going to invest any time in any talent, even if it's just give him a win every other week for 3 or 4 fucking weeks to goddamn just establish him as somebody just to put people over, they would win first. I don't know. Maybe Barry Horowitz might be the only guy that ever had a long career and his first, but or Matt and Jeff Hardy were 17 years old. They probably beat them, but I mean, is that an exaggeration, Brian? You've seen countless hours of wrestling television from every era. Did you ever bring somebody into your company, whether it be a territory or a television roster or a national or whatever, did you ever bring them in and just start beating them on television for the first 60 or 70 years of television?
Not if you wanted them to get over. And of course, it's different if someone came in as an undercard guy and returned a year and a half later. We're talking about someone who's just in a company, you want to get them over. You don't just go out there and beat them. It never works. Losing streaks don't work to get people over.
And it's not even anymore. You can't even do a streak because, the television time is not there for them to do a 0 and 98 fucking record or whatever. But just to bring people in like Tony Khan was doing, where he'd bring in even stars, but especially people he wanted to use prominently. And for the first 6 months, and then they'd start winning after they'd lost for 6 months. And with the WWE now, even with Triple H, I don't understand why I can understand with Carmelo Hayes doing a job for Cody because he's the world champion, and just that he's in there, that meant they wanted people to view him prominently. But to just start, even if you couldn't give them goddamn Arnold Finster for a week, their first appearance on TV, just to show what they can do. Ilya, hit your finish so we know what your fucking finish is, right? But no. So, and I don't expect them to have him beat Jey Uso because Jey Uso is over. We'll get to this in a second. But then don't have the match. It's a work. Do something else. If he's not going to go very far in the King of the Ring tournament, maybe he came in too late to be registered to be in it and go in a different direction. I don't know what the fuck. I'm just saying, it used to be to the talent that if you were brought into a television taping, and you were, your first weekend, you're going to do a job, okay, I see now that's what I'll be doing. Because you knew that you don't get a second chance to make a first impression, especially if you make 5 or 6 of these kind of first impressions.